Hardy har! I'm the Bargain Pirate and welcome to an all-new adventures in game chasing, yar! So today we're going through the rest of what's in the box from Tipa Game, which had a lot of cool stuff so far. And now, well, let's see what else is in the box. Let's get to the bottom of it, yar! Hi everyone! Bargain Pirate here. Before we begin today's episode in earnest, I just wanted to tell you that today's episode was sponsored by Tipa Game, who was kind enough to give me some very groovy prices on the games we got today, in exchange for me telling you about a cool little deal they have with a keyword from the show. If you purchase over $100 worth of stuff, you'll get free shipping. All you have to do is mention the word pirate during your purchase, and voila, here you go. Video games with free shipping over $100. So please, especially if you're in the Montreal area, encourage your local video game retailers. Yar, because that's the way game chasing goes. And now, back to the show! Ooh, a PSP game I didn't own. Darkstalkers Chronicles: The Chaos Tower, which is a Darkstalkers game. I like me some Darkstalkers. I have a hard time saying Darkstalkers, but yeah, love this series. And this, of course, has the manual and the game. Very nice. All's here. I'm happy. And Capcom fighting game starring monsters. You can't go wrong there, can ya? No, you can't. On to the next one. WWF Raw for the Super Nintendo. Well, this is pretty cool. Wrestling's rudest and roughest. Well, it's a wrestling game for the Super Nintendo. I think a lot of the upcoming games are going to be wrestling games because I've been going through a little bit of a wrestling phase and I want to get all the wrestling games, you know, all the WWE games at least. So WWF at the time. This is WWF Raw. But it's an LJN game. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to play this game at some point. Okay. WWE All-Stars, which is more of an arcadey game, kind of like the recent game that came out, Battlegrounds. Yeah, it's back when THQ was doing these, and I don't know what to say. I think it's an okay one. I don't recall hearing it being the worst, but I don't recall hearing it being the best, so I guess it's just yet another wrestling game I didn't own, and now I own. Cool. Alright. WWE Legends of WrestleMania. This is pretty cool. I guess it's another one of those games starring older characters, older wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, and integrates some of the Attitude Era people like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know if this is one of those arcadey type games, but I do know it's well, it says here it's by Ukes, so it's probably going to play like the WWE series, the 2K series. I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to try it at some point. Next we have... oh, the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for PlayStation 1. That's pretty neat. One of my favorite games ever. Here it is, and it's in great condition. Yeah, it's Tony Hawk 1. What more do you want? In Europe, this would be called Tony Hawk's Pro Skateboarding, I think? Or Tony Hawk's Skateboarding? Something. It's just got a stupid name. But it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which is the game that launched a great flagship series of about 4 games, and then some of the sequels are okay, I suppose. But yes, really cool game. The only game more nostalgic for me than this one in the series is, of course, the second one. But, you know, I'm really happy to have this one. And in the case, it's cool to see how the logo evolved over time. Very nice. Up next is... oh, that box looks a little incomplete. Oh, it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, but this time for the Dreamcast, which is probably one of the better versions of this. However, the whole front of the case is not there, meaning that the disc only has the back of the case. Some confetti, but yeah, the disc looks fine. It's one of the better versions. It's probably the best looking Tony Hawk 2 game before the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube eras. So yeah, one of the better versions. If ever I find, I'm probably just going to get another CD case and pop that on there for the front to protect it at least. And if ever I find a booklet for it, I'm going to put it in there with What can I say? But yeah, obviously I don't go out of my way to get games that are incomplete like this unless I find them at really, really cheap, and this was really, really cheap. We're talking like a more than friendly single-digit price. So I got the game, I just had to find the booklet at some point. No biggie. Ironically, the game that introduced manuals doesn't have the manual. I know, crazy, right? SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, featuring ECW. Okay, it's one of the SmackDown vs. Raws that I didn't have for my collection. It's an official WWE game, so into the collection it goes, and it's exactly the kind of game that I wanted to add to my collection. There's a little light. Oh, there is a booklet. Okay, I thought there was no booklet because it was a little on the light side, but there's a booklet, there's the game. Game's a little scratched up. Maybe one day I'll look for a better copy. I think a little resurfacing is needed for this copy, but again, I didn't pay very much for this one. So, overall, very nice. Okay. WWF Royal Rumble, another LJN game, this time for the Super Nintendo. Really cool. I'm almost got all the WWF games for the Super Nintendo. Go figure. I'm happy about that. Very cool. This one I'm sure is nice. It's got Shawn Michaels, it's got Bret Hart, it's got The Undertaker, Kurt Hennig, Yokozuna, Scott Hall, or Razor Ramon if you were watching wrestling at the time. No, it's a cool little lineup. I don't know much to say about this one. I don't know if it's before or after Raw. I think this is before Raw. Maybe after. I have no idea. All I know is that WWF, the arcade game, is my favorite of all time in terms of wrestling games on the Super Nintendo, and I already have that one. So I'm happy to have this one too, Royal Rumble. Cool. Yar! Alright, looks like there's only one thing left in this box. I have this in my hand here. I'm gonna... This game... that's one of the big ones. But first, I just want to say a special thanks to Tipa Game. Thank you very much, Val. You really got me some good stuff here. I asked for wrestling games, and I asked for sequels to things that I already had. And I think you really outperform yourself. I also have at the bottom of the box like 20 or so Nintendo Powers and a few assorted strategy guides. I'm gonna go through those in a future episode, not next episode, because we're gonna move on to something else next episode. But I'm gonna do a little review of all the Nintendo Powers that I'm adding to my collection. Episode 6, episode 7, something like that. But for now, I'm gonna tell you about the pièce de résistance of today's episode and of this whole box. An actual copy of Castlevania Dracula X. I'm going to take it out of its little plastic box here so you can see it better, thanks to the wonderful reflections. But yeah, Castlevania Dracula X. This one cost a pretty penny, but I rarely splurge on games, on singular games. I like to, get more bang for my buck. But this, I couldn't let it go. It's a little on the beat-up side here, some little cleanup necessary here, and there's a little bit of the, like the edge here is a little on the rubbed-off side, but honestly, it's in pretty good shape for a game that's, what, 25, 30 years old? Very happy with this one. Probably one of the best soundtracks on the Super Nintendo. This is a game that I've wanted for a long time to have an actual copy of, and now I do. And it's pretty cool. I'm happy with this. Wow. Castlevania Dracula X, which is a less technically advanced port of Rondo of Blood, but still, for the Super Nintendo, this is pretty kick-ass. I am one fancy game closer to my full set of Super Nintendo, so this is a big get. I'm really happy with this one, and I rarely go into the triple digits for one game, but I just had to have it. Oh yeah. Well, that was it for the box that Tipa Games sent me. They're really cool. They have a lot of fun little things going on where you can, of course, ask them for a box. You say an amount, you say what kind of games you want. Just go ahead and they'll make you a mystery box full of cool stuff. Some of the things in here I specifically asked for. Some of the things in here are surprises. So, hey, that was pretty cool. And I know it's been, I had to split it into two parts. There's so much stuff there. But yeah, that's cool stuff. Next episode, we're going to have a cool little package from Retour vers le Rétro, who sent me a little care package full of good Super Nintendo games to add to my collection. So that'll be for next week. So anyways, I hope you like this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. Please leave a comment on what kind of games I should be looking for, especially once all this COVID nonsense dies down, so that once I start game chasing again, tell me what you'd like me to look for. I'd also be interested in some of your game chasing stories, like what games did you guys find? Did you catch anyone slipping? Did you find something for like $5 that's worth like 50? Anything good like that? Please let me know in the comments. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week on another exciting episode of Adventures in Game Chasing. Yarr!